So we had to create a project that will be a landmark, a center of its surroundings. The project needed to be smart, integrated new tech, environmentally sustainable, and targets the Egyptian 2030 vision. But what would the project be? Taking a look at the Egyptian community, just like many communities around the world, there is a massive spatial and economic inequality of opportunity, communal disintegration, the migration of many citizens out of the country. Seeing the state of the community with an understanding that architecture is affected by the community, and vice versa, until a point of equilibrium is reached, where the architecture and community represent each other. The architectural center of the community, the mosque, its current use needs to be questioned. Now it's only used for prayer. It opens 15 minutes before prayer, closes 15 minutes after prayer. This neutralizes its ability to unite the community. But that's not how it was supposed to be. The mosque has always been the center. It was a place of worship, but also a school and a university, a place for the poor and rich alike, a place of congregation and social interaction, a place of governance. So we contend that bringing back these uses in a modern religious complex fit for the 21st century will in effect bring back the community that once was. Now, the project's vision is to provide an environment which fosters a strong, interconnected community, and its mission is to unite the community by bringing back the mosque's role as a community center, with its varied uses, with spaces for the community to gather and collaborate inclusively, while being spiritually connected. Now, we had to choose the city and its location. All of the available cities had potential. However, to change the center, you need to change the literal center. And so the center of the country, the new administrative capital, was chosen. Within it, the spine of the city, the Green River, was chosen. And finally, the exact center of the Green River was chosen as a site for the building to be a metaphor, to act as a metaphor and literal center for the community. Also, it lies within the Science and Technology Park, which goes with the theme of IoT. Now, the land plot is overlooking a river to its north, with a residential development to the south. It also lies on the secondary northern-southern connector, close to the government district. Now, lying within the Green River, obviously it's not accessible by car. However, the Green River's monorail system has 2 stations on the plot's ends, which are connected to parking lots outside. And so the plot's entrances were chosen close to these stations. A fleet of autonomous golf cars will be used to transport visitors from the station to the project. The project was planned to house a plethora of uses, with the mosque housing a Quran school and a fatwa center, a religious center split into a da'wah center and a pilgrimage training center, a community center with housing, feeding, and rehabilitation for the poor, an Islamic arts center, and an administrative center, an educational center with class labs and lecture halls, and finally a commercial center with shops and restaurants. The project's concept is inspired by this variation in uses. It represents a journey towards Allah, and this journey is materialized through the journey through the uses. There are 2 extremes. The religious center on one side, representing Islamic wholeness, serenity, and is static in nature, and the commercial center on the other side, representing individualism, disruption, and is dynamic in nature, with the community center and educational center shades in between, representing communal unity. A modular unit was chosen representing the individual. When stacked together, they represent the community and its state in a specific zone. The closer you are to the religious center, the higher the height, with little variation within it, with larger modules and the more uniform the distribution. And the closer you are to the commercial center, the lower the height, with greater variation within it, with smaller modules and more uniform distribution. The main volume is extruded based on the required area for the building. It is then slanted in order to vary the height based on uses. The volume is then subdivided into modules, fractaled, and then offset as if in motion based on its location on the use axis. A courtyard is then carved in the middle of the building to act as its beating heart, carved as a circle to signify the wholeness of the community, reflected in the perfection of the geometry. 2 minarets were added to act as beacons of light for the faithful. The entrance to the religious complex is given prominence and offsets the cylindrical void. A garden with a pool of flowing water is added at the center of the courtyard to remind the faithful of their hereafter in the heaven. The main entrance is carved through the volumes of individual units, getting wider the closer you get to the prayer hall, signifying getting closer to the Creator and its effect on the human soul.
Mm-hmm.